Did you know that 73% of US Facebook users log in daily and 93% log in weekly? And more than 1.4 billion people are using Facebook groups every single month. Facebook groups are a powerful tool to help you build your brand and nurture your customers to become lifelong fans. But how can you use them for your business? Facebook groups take a lot of time. So if you're just starting out or you're handling all of your business's social media on your own, you may want to consider holding off on groups or handing off some of your other social media efforts to an agency like LYFE or an employee. I managed multiple Facebook groups for small businesses with great success. So today I'll be sharing my tips and some of the lessons I've learned the hard way so that you don't have to. Later in the video, I'll share tips to encourage user-generated content so that your biggest fans can do the selling for you. So don't miss that. Welcome back. I'm Morgan from LYFE Marketing, the digital marketing agency that helps small businesses grow. Let's get into it. Before you create your group, you want to decide what privacy setting that you'd like. Facebook currently offers 2 privacy settings. These settings affect the discoverability of your groups, which is why you want to plan them before you start creating anything. Let's look at the 2 types. The first is a public group. Anyone on or off of Facebook can see who's in the group and what has been posted. Facebook has been making changes to the way public groups operate since October of last year, and now they've rolled it out to the whole world. The new public group experience differs from the old one in a few ways that I'll go over now. New public groups will be easier for people to discover both on and off of Facebook. When someone shares a link to or post from the group on Facebook, their followers will have the option to see related discussions taking place within the group. Content from new public groups will also appear more often in search engine results off of Facebook. People can join public groups and get updates without admin approval. You also have the option to require posts to be approved by an admin or allow anyone on Facebook to comment in the group even if they aren't a member. Admins have the option to let anyone participate in their public groups by commenting, even if they aren't members of that group. Admins can decide who is allowed to post in the group, anyone logged into Facebook, or just group members. Admins also have the option to approve first-time participants, including new members and visitors, before they publish a post or comment for the first time. Admins can also choose to approve all posts before anything is published. Admins can let members post and comment using customizable profiles in their groups. This maintains a level of protection for group members who can change the name of their public profile. Members of the group and admins will still see the members' real profiles. If you have an existing group, you'll need to opt into the new group experience. You'll have 72 hours to play around with it and change your mind, but after that, you can't change it back later. If you opt into the new public group experience, you'll currently lose access to chats, messenger rooms, and watch parties. So if you regularly use those features, you may want to hold off on switching for now. These changes will only apply to new public groups for now. This change is supposed to help groups reach more people and give admins more tools and access to deeper insights. Ideally, this will make groups better. Your second privacy option is private groups. In private groups, only members can see who's in the group and what they post. It's important to know that once you've made your group private, you cannot make it public. This is to protect the members who were posting and sharing under the assumption that their information was private. Users will have to request to join the group, depending on your privacy setting. You have 2 additional options within private groups. They are hidden and visible. If your group is hidden, only current, invited, and former members can see the group's name and description. It will only appear in search for current, invited, and former members as well. And the only folks who can request to join the group are former members. Everyone else needs to be invited. If your group is visible, anyone can see your group's name and description. Your group will only appear in search and other places on Facebook for people who are already logged in, and any Facebook user can request to join. They will not be able to see what's posted in the group until they've been approved. You can approve all requests automatically, everyone gets in, for example, or manually, where you choose who gets in. With either of those choices, you can ask members to answer questions to get into your group. This is a great way to screen members before they enter and can see those posts. You'll be able to see all requests in your group and approve them manually, or if you let folks in automatically, you can see who was recently admitted to the group in case you need to remove anyone. I like to throw in a couple market research questions when I'm screening people to enter groups. Ask folks how they found you, or how they heard about you, or how long they've been interested in your group topic. You can really ask them anything that you want here, so take the time to plan it out and match it up with your other marketing efforts. I recommend limiting the number of questions you ask so folks are more likely to respond. I found that open-ended questions help you gather more information, but you can also select multiple choice options. Let's talk about why you might choose to hide your group. This is a great option if membership in your group is a perk for past purchasers or current subscription holders. If your group is for sensitive topics, this is also a good option for you. It works as well if you just want your members to have somewhere quiet to go that's away from the chaos of the rest of the internet. In order to protect your community, I would establish guidelines for your community and moderate. Some groups can handle themselves just fine on the internet, but most groups need some sort of moderation and guidelines for interaction. Your guidelines will depend on your business, of course, but I found that most small businesses do well with some basic rules. The first is no politics. Unless your business is connected to the political sector in some way, it works to just put a blanket rule that no politics are allowed. You want your group to be a happy place and a good experience for your customers, and politics are a surefire way to stoke tensions and make everyone angry. This will create negative feelings around your brand, and we don't want that. Second rule that I found helpful is no disrespectful behavior. We've all seen a comment section with one or two people throwing names and disrespect, and it makes the whole group feel hostile for many of the members. It's a good idea to nip this as quickly as you see it and explain why it's not acceptable. The third rule is no selling or links to competitor products or websites. You may have folks in your group who join just to try to promote themselves or your competitors. Remember, this is your group, so you're the boss. There are plenty of groups for promoting your own business or services, so unless that's directly relevant to your business, like you're a business coach who allows self-promotion every Monday, I would create a blanket rule and remove any post that violates it. Here's a pro tip. Anytime you delete someone's post or comment for breaking a guideline or rule, send them a message to let them know why. You may be tempted to skip this step to avoid confrontation, but I found that deleting without addressing it or publicly addressing it in a comment chain leads to more conflict. If it's a big issue, you can make a public post for transparency and reiterate why you have the rule. Don't be afraid to kick people out of the group. It's much better for your brand as a whole to kick out a few toxic, abusive, or spammy members than to annoy everyone else by putting up with bad behavior. You'll lose your loyal customers if you cater to a few grumpies. It's your brand, your group, and your customers. Make sure that you protect it. In your Facebook group, you need to post consistently. Balance your posts so not everything is a sales post. I like to pull back on sales and marketing in groups because I've noticed groups with a lot of direct selling or marketing posts get the lowest levels of engagement and return. I recommend saving sales posts for once or twice a week. Check insights to see when your group is most active and save your posts for then. I found it helpful to create themed days to help me plan and create content for groups that I've managed. This is also a great way to keep your users active and engaged. Maybe Thursdays are tutorial days where you release your newest video, or Fridays are check-in days to see how everyone's week went. You don't have to create themed days if you don't want to. You can absolutely run a successful group using an open format where you just let the conversation happen naturally. Just be sure that you're posting and engaging regularly and adding value. So what does regularly mean? Well, that depends on your business and your content needs. Maybe that means you post every day. Maybe that means you post every other day. So long as you're consistent and your members know what to expect and stay engaged, that's completely fine. Encourage user-generated content. You may have heard that content is king, and you know that you have to post often, but wow, is creating content time-consuming? Why not get a little help from your friends? User-generated content is a win for everyone. You get content that you can use to promote your business and products. Your customers get a big shout-out, and who doesn't love a shout-out? Your audience is also being sold to by someone else, someone that they're more likely to trust. Invite users to share their images or videos. I always like to ask permission to use their images and tag them in the post to thank them for sharing. I like to also let them know when they can expect to see it so that they can watch for it, get excited, and share it with their friends. Here's some Facebook group posting best practices for new groups. Don't send users off of Facebook immediately. This kind of connects to not being too salesy too soon. You need to build trust with your audience first. Create and curate content that they can enjoy right in the group. There will be plenty of time for you to share links to your website later. Host watch parties for new videos that you're releasing. A watch party allows your viewers to watch a pre-recorded video live and has a chat feature where folks can leave comments and ask questions. You should have an admin or mod run the watch party so they can answer any questions that come up or help direct the chat and keep it focused on the video. Remember, watch party is not available in new public groups, so if you use this feature or plan to use it, hold off on switching for now. Use Facebook polls to ask your group what they want to see more of. Have them weigh in on upcoming events or products. If they feel heard and see evidence that you're listening because you're making changes or releasing products that they had input in, they'll feel invested, like they're part of the business and they'll want to help you grow it. Another must-do for the group is to go live in the group. Announce it well ahead of time to ensure that you have attendance, and consider taking a poll to see what day and time works best for everyone. You can do a question and answer or an ask me anything style. Ask for your questions ahead of time and prepare your own just in case you don't have enough to fill time. I would start with a shorter live, maybe 10 minutes or so until you're comfortable, and be patient with yourself. You will have technical issues. It will feel awkward, but you'll get the hang of it with practice. It's helpful to have someone there with you to screen the comments and questions so you're not trying to do too many things at once. We've all seen those lives and they don't go as well as they could. My next tip is to celebrate your members. Your group is nothing without your members, and I mean that quite literally. You could have the best content in the history of the world, you could be sharing the secrets of the universe, and if you have no one in your group or everyone's abandoned it because it's all about you, then your group is essentially worthless. Now, that's not to say that small groups are a waste of time or that you should abandon your efforts if you don't have a lot of activity. I'm just trying to illustrate the point that you need active members, and one way to keep folks coming back is to celebrate them. Here are some of the strategies I've seen the most success with. Welcome your new members. Create a post once a week welcoming new members and inviting them to share a bit about themselves. It feels great to get recognition and people love to share. Invite your existing members to give all new folks a warm welcome and be sure that you're interacting in the comments. It's your job to keep the conversation going, so ask open-ended questions instead of just thanking people for commenting or asking yes or no questions. And make sure that you're responding. You can also use badges to reward your community members. You'll need to enable the badges so that Facebook can automatically add them for your members. They're updated automatically by Facebook, so you don't have to manage them, which is really nice, and they'll keep changing to keep things interesting. Members get really proud about their badges, and they try to keep one or to earn others, so it can be a really fun and engaging way to get people talking. Here's how you'll enable badges in your group. Go to the group that you're managing. Click Settings in the left-hand menu. Click the pencil icon next to Badges. Choose whatever badges you'd like to enable and click Save. Let's go over the badges that are available to you in your groups. You don't have to use all of them, but you definitely can. The first is Rising Star. This badge shows next to the names of users who have become a new group member in the last 2 weeks. Your Conversation Starter badge goes to the member whose post got the most engagement in the last 4 weeks. Conversation Booster goes to members whose posts or comments generate a lot of engagement, and that's likes, comments, or shares. The Greeter badge goes to members who most frequently interact with new members. Remember, those are called Rising Stars. Visual Storyteller goes to members whose photos and videos get a lot of engagement. Founding Member goes to members who joined your group in the first few crucial weeks. The Admin and Moderator badges go to folks who are admins or moderators. This lends some credibility when enforcing rules and answering questions in the group. Group Anniversary shows up on that member's anniversary day. It's a fun idea to celebrate anniversaries when you can and thank that member for joining and sticking with you for so long. Utilize resources in your groups. You can add more than posts or videos to your group. Facebook has a bunch of options that work for almost any business. You can add files, modules for learning, and more. For a detailed look at these features, like this video and let me know in the comments, and I'll make a tutorial. You'll also want to cross-promote your groups and pages. Chances are, if your business runs more than one group, your audience will be interested in joining multiple. Hang on, Morgan, you're talking about multiple groups now? Why would I need multiple groups? I know that it seems like too much too soon, but you don't have to run multiple groups for your business. In fact, unless you have a dedicated social media person helping you with your groups and management, you don't want to run multiple groups, at least at the beginning. It can all be way too much, especially if one or two of the groups takes off. It also doesn't make sense for every business to have more than one group, but some businesses benefit from having multiple groups. So how do you know if multiple groups are right for you? If your business serves multiple audiences or niches, you may benefit from multiple groups. Think of it sort of like segmenting your email list by interest or targeting your ads based on interest. This is a good way to keep your topic focused and ensure that folks in the group are having the best experience possible. If you try to put everything all together in one group, you can end up with mostly bored members who don't check in often because most posts just don't apply to them or interest them. Let's talk through an example. If you're a crafts-based business, you may have a different group for each type of craft that you sell, like embroidery, crochet, and quilting. Or if you only sell one type of craft, embroidery perhaps, you may have a group for beginners and one for advanced techniques. Or you may have a monthly subscription box and you have a dedicated group to support that, where you share tutorials, answer questions, and encourage members to share photos of their work. In cases where there may be crossover interests, like in a beginner group where they may be looking for more advanced techniques soon, or where they might love a monthly subscription, you can add other groups as suggestions that members can choose to join. Now, only cross-promote when it makes sense. An embroidery crowd might not like your new knife painting kits and wouldn't want to join that group, so just be strategic about it. Do you want me to walk you through setting up a group from start to finish? Let me know in the comments and I'll do a full tutorial on it. Those are my tips for how to use Facebook groups for your small business. I hope you found this video helpful and that you learned something new. Hopefully, it sparked a genius group idea for you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'd love to help brainstorm some ideas too, so don't be afraid to ask. You'll definitely want to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on our weekly marketing content. I'll be doing more videos on topics similar to this one. If you have a specific request, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Keep up the good work and happy marketing!